I've saved up quite a bit this year and plan on donating every day this week. Let's save some frames and kill those animals. And with that, it sounds like our runner is Way, so I will throw it over to Studio, who's going to be running Rise of the Tomb Raider. Good luck, Studio.
Hi. Okay, I can hear myself. Can you guys speak, do your thing?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Right, let's get the introductions. This is going to be a bit of a long run, so we should get to know the couch behind me.
All right. My name is Jovo, and I don't know why the hell I'm here, but I am, so it's good.
Hi, I'm Bystander Tim. I run Tomb Raider 2013, but a lot of the glitches are still the same, so I'm here.
I'm Sarapol, and I still don't know why I'm here.
Okay, I'm actually not sure why I'm here either. Did you guys mean for me to run this, or was it supposed to be someone else? Like, what's the...
Well, like, most of them can't come because they're across the country, or they're across the world.
All right. Am I good to start this thing? Okay. So I will start time when I am able to skip the first cutscene that actually leads to gameplay. So let's go ahead. Be a few seconds. This game does have some loads on it. Also, it's in German. Okay. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. That's a long one. Go.
Woo! Let's do it.
One guy you just yelled "yeah" Studio so loudly I could hear it through the headphones. So shout outs to that guy.
That guy's a champ.
All right. This is Rise of the Tomb Raider. It's a pretty normal game. Not really a lot in terms of glitchiness. We do some mountain climbing. We kill some bad guys. You know, you do the normal kind of Lara Croft things. No dual pistols in this game, but it's okay. First things first, we got to scale this mountain. We are with our good friend Jonah, who is about to go ahead and, we'll get spooked with us by these spooky mountains.
Happens to everybody.
And this is, the introduction to the game. It's a little bit slower, walking and talking, just introducing you to like, hey, it's a mountain. You should recognize this mountain. We get knocked down. A lot of bad stuff happens to Laura in this game. So I need to check one setting really quickly. Okay, that setting is fine.
I think we're all good.
All right. And let's see. And now we're in the air.
Yeah, definitely good.
Standard.
It's just how it goes.
Yeah, this is a normal playthrough of Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I mean, we are climbing the mountain.
Yeah.
So.
Well, she's raiding tombs, we're climbing mountains. This is how you do it, right? This is how I played it for the first time. I don't know about you guys. But yeah, we're out of bounds.
Like,
and
very out of bounds.
We're gonna do that a lot. This is a very out of boundsy game with very complicated out of bounds.
Get a face full of snow right here.
Yep, and a lot of this is about loading the next area. So I just had to trudge through a lot of snow really slowly. There's a really bad pun there of snowly. I just want to point that out. And
that's still a crime.
That will load the next area and let us keep going on our merry way. Climbing this mountain takes, I think, 10 minutes if you don't do any of these skips.
It's like 7 or 8 to get where the skip takes 4 or 5.
Hopefully the skip doesn't take 4 or 5 minutes. Okay. Everything about this is super janky and weird because you're not supposed to be here. No hates to the devs for that. That's speedrunning sometimes. The camera really wants to fight you because it keeps wanting to point in bounds. And we are clearly not in bounds. Okay, these are the scary jumps where my odds of dying are pretty high. 1 scary jump. 2 scary jumps. 1 scary run. The last scary run. Will the game crash? Well, I almost died, so that's also scary. Will the game crash? Yes! Nice. That wasn't on. So it's like, yeah, it can crash pretty reliably, but not all that often. All the practice, all the playthroughs I've done so far in the past 2 months, I think I've gotten 1 crash, though. Now that we finally started, we got it. It should have made an autosave. Worst comes to worst, I've got a backup autosave in that same spot. So, yeah, that is the mountain climb, though, it was about 2 minutes there, and it saved about 5.
I guess what?
Yeah, we're back in.
I guess now that we're here, what made those jumps so scary is that when Studio hit that first trigger, whenever he would have reloaded, if he had died, it would have placed him in that cutscene trigger that he hit. And unfortunately, there's no way to get back out of bounds from that cutscene trigger without just completely restarting the game.
Yeah, I would have had to load up a backup save I had by the first section where I fall down the mountain. Essentially what happened was the game, because I was loading on a cliff, there was a brief second where I was able to start having Laura do that little scramble animation. and I triggered that in the loading screen. The reason I went to the menu was because it was going to be a reliable timing. So I went to the loading screen, scrambled back in bounds, or back out of bounds, and because I was scrambling in the air, the game wasn't lowering my height. This next section is actually pretty normal. It's not really, we're going to actually do this as is. We just got to outrun an avalanche. It's a normal day in the life of L-Dog. I think we can go ahead and take a donation.
Yeah.
All right. Looks like we have a $500 donation from Adam127. And Adam127 says, donation?
That's a great message. He's on point.
Well done, sir.
All right, so there is some trickery we can do here. Like a lot of this is kind of paced. I can't fall down this any faster. She's gonna try and grip, but we actually want her to fall all the way. So I can grab here, and instead of doing a climb animation, it just skips a little bit of a sequence there. And this is kind of the end of this section. If you jump too much, you will actually outpace the falling of the rocks here, and sometimes L-Dog will just like veer to the side and die. So we made it out. This is the first level done. No deaths, 1 crash. I'm pretty okay with that.
Yeah, I think, and the crash is pretty random, so.
It's one of those, like, I should have, I don't know, done nothing differently because I had no choice in that matter. The intro to this game is a little bit slower because it's building up the lore, it's building up why she's here, why we're doing all these things, like why are we in Siberia, why are we now in Syria?
Why is this scorpion here?
As this happens, a lot of cutscenes. So we can probably take another donation now. The game gets a lot faster. The most important thing to remember, though, is that I can fire my gun in like 5 seconds for no apparent reason, and it's just really funny. There's no beneficial use to it. You can probably toss out a donation now, though.
All right, we have $25 from Nick Knack Nick that says, I picked up Rise of the Tomb Raider last summer, and I am excited to see this game at GDQ this year. I really hope to pick up on some strats from the run to make my next playthrough even shorter. Good luck on the run.
There is one thing I'd like to point out here, where we're actually being introduced to the true protagonist of the game, which is Laura's ponytail.
So there's a setting, I don't know what it's called in English because everything is set to German and I don't speak German.
Please don't make me Google Translate it.
I think it's like hair textures.
Hairworks.
And it
Yeah,
hairworks.
it's like NVIDIA Hairworks. They made like a big deal about it.
And it actually looks really good when it's on, but when it's off, Laura's hair physics will just kind of go. And like it's like she's permanently in a breeze. And
Going and going.
Permanently in a breeze, more like a hurricane.
Yeah, so like right now it's just kind of moving on its own, and it won't really stop doing this.
The entire
alive.
Yeah, like this right now, it's just like it's bobbing in sync with her. It's staying at perfect like horizontal level. And I'm a big fan of her hair right now. It's like magical hair. Okay.
There's some writing there.
I believe this game has, what are the 3 languages in this game? It's Russian, Greek, and
It's
Mongolian.
Yeah, it's something like that. There's a bunch of mechanics that we're not going to use.
Yeah, it's like you can do a bunch of side quests, you can learn different languages, and actually I really like this game casually. Like I really enjoyed it. And like all that stuff was like, oh, this is fun, I'm collecting stuff. I'm learning languages in a way that I've discovered through this run. I cannot pick up German by playing this game. But like, it's actually kind of like, it's neat playing through it, and I feel a little bad skipping all of it, but then, you know, it saves hours. Section right here, this is a little bit more climbing. Syria does get a little bit more busted, but we have to kind of get to this section that opens up with aiming. We don't have a weapon, actually. Like, I was able to shoot the pistol, but they haven't actually given us the gun in-game. Here, there's one trick. I might die. I just have to jump and grab it on that ledge, and it saves a cutscene of Laura grabbing onto the ledge. Okay, coming up, we've got a, I think, 50-second kind of walk section. So as soon as I get up this rock, I think covert, back to you.
All right, sounds good. We have $150 from Benson that says, longtime watcher, first-time donator. Save some money today because of nice people, so why not give something back? We also have $5 from Alex Senpai that says, long-time watcher, first-time donating. Good luck to the runners on the Tomb Raider games.
So this game I consider a horror game just because of this scene right here. There's a scary skeleton. This is enough. If anybody wants to argue with me, at me on Twitter, we'll fight.
I thought that one skeleton scene was really moving. It's not as important as all these other skeletons, though.
Yeah,
but that
there's
one
more-
skeleton
there's-
scene was surely moving.
There's this one really scary skeleton. Everything else is just, you know, there's some scorpions. This is a genuinely creepy scene, but once you've seen it 100 times, it loses some impact. This game uses in-game timing for the leaderboards, just because it helps narrow computer differences. So I save reload right there, even though it probably doesn't make a difference in real time. It's just one of those habits that I have at this point. And now that we're in the second half of this year, we have access to our gun.
And this game gets broken again.
Little bit. Let's see if I'm able to get this.
That was actually
All right.
relatively easy.
That was actually really fast. I'm going to choke up the next part. Yeah, I just kind of looked. I was able to clip into that trap, use it, the perspective of Laura aiming down her gun, to look in third person, which causes weird clipping issues.
And now we're swimming, by the way.
Now we're swimming. I have to not fall out of bounds here. That's enough. I'm going to be safe and not try and do that again. And then this is an entire tutorial on swimming and getting out of traps, and we just skipped through it.
Which, by the way, even though we got out of the water, we were underwater the whole time.
Yeah.
That section of water is actually a lot tighter than it looks, mostly because you don't really have an idea of what is solid and what is not solid. So Studio actually pulled that off really cleanly, even though he took the safe route.
Yeah, that was a little bit, that was a reliable way to do that. Oh, I couldn't get the jump. Okay. But like I said, Syria opens up the glitches because we now have access to a gun, which lets us do a lot more. I need to, this is kind of tricky because I'm not used to this setup. I need to find a little sliver of pixel that will let Laura melee up here, and then I can jump up here, and that skips most of the climbing puzzle in this section.
So melee attacks have a really weird phenomena, I guess, in this game, where they sort of displace Laura's model and allows her to climb up slope surfaces as if they're vertical.
Yes, if you're going to slide down it, she no longer respects the slide. So because it was a slidey hill, I was able to go ahead and melee up it. This comes into play a few times actually, and it's a pretty major skip. Here was relatively minor. That's a triple jump. Let's skip this jumping puzzle, and we are good to get swept away.
There's a lot of water here.
A lot of water in this game overall. Also some skulls. I don't know if you knocked over the skull, saw the skull knocked over, but I feel bad for them. Coming up is a trick that I hopefully don't die on 5 times. Which I'm going to be honest, that's kind of been every trick I could die on so far. I need to platform Laura in a section where she does not normally platform. I'm going out of bounds for this. So there's no real protections for her. The game doesn't do anything to keep her in bounds. And to make matters worse, I am on a really strict timer. A really strict can actually affect you in the speedruns timer. So for example, missing that jump was too slow. There's an invisible wall blocking me from going out of bounds too. Doing this will let me skip and not do this section the full long ways. If I can't get this, I will give this a couple tries and then reset. So we are out of bounds. There is no protection for Laura. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
That's
actually a lot tighter than it looks, mostly because of the way Laura controls in the air.
And that was actually a really hard trick. And I got a second try, and I'm really happy about that.
A lot of this game is just randomly super punishing. It's weird.
Yeah, so that's kind of I want to say problem, but it's just the basis of a lot of this run is, if you go fast, that's good, but if you make a mistake, you will be punished severely. So every death there, it's going to be 15 seconds by the time you get to the part that's difficult, after the loading and after actually making the jumps you need to. So a jump there is really punishing, and there will be tricks later on where it's oh, you died here. Well, there goes a minute. There goes 2 minutes. So I will be doing those incredibly nervously. We have a little bit of auto-walking, so I think we can go ahead and bust out a couple more donations.
While we figure out whatever this plot is.
Yeah, sure. we have a $333 donation from Mr. Cranky Cat. He says, always look forward. Yeah, go ahead and clap for that. Mr. Cranky Cat says, always look forward to this event every year. I love the cause, and I'm amazed how the speedrunners turn it every year. Big shout outs and thanks to the organizers of this event. With you, this wouldn't be possible. Without you, excuse me. Meow.
But I say with us, like that's what does that mean if we're still doing it then?
Well, we know when we're not wanted.
I'm gonna be honest, his name was Mr. Cranky Cat. I don't think he was cranky at all. All right, so first of all, check out the hair. It is having the time of its life.
It's through the hood.
It's through the. It is pulling her to the campfire right now.
Okay.
This section is like the intro to the survival aspects of this. It is cold. We were in a flashback when we were in Syria. We're now back in current modern day tomb raiding times.
Like post-avalanche.
Yes, this is after all of the intro sequence. We have to go ahead and get enough supplies to survive for the night. This doesn't really happen that often. Like, there's not really a survival aspect to this game for the most part, but there's a huge crafting aspect. We will engage in it a tiny, tiny bit. There's a little bit of crafting we need to do. But for the most part, the skills are going to be used to make us go fast or keep us alive. We also get freaked out lower face. I actually like that because it's one of those things where you're only going to see that if you zoom around, and they did kind of get the eyes darting around. So I actually like that detail.
This game has a lot of polish.
And we just got to do a few more snow trudges. I wish I could. I want to just like, I want to press so many buttons right now to go faster, but it's unfortunately not an option. Just got to take those last couple steps into this cutscene, and we can skip. I like to think this all happens in the span of a couple of hours, and just Laura just has a terrible, terrible couple hours. This is just like a bad afternoon for her. So here's a crafting we actually do. We have to upgrade this bow to proceed in the game. I did have enough experience for the upgrades I need. I need one upgrade right now, and that is the roll.
It's like Fleetfoot or something like that?
Yeah, Fleetfoot.
It's like words. It's a roll.
So you jump, you roll, you roll, and this is the fastest way to move her around. There are exceptions. It depends on the surface. If it is a really like sloped downward surface, it's much slower versus possibly running sometimes. And it depends on the ceilings. I'm gonna roll a lot though. It's how we move. Coming up is a kind of the first. I'd say this is the first boss fight of the game. It does become a normal enemy. We got our good friend, a bear. Can't really do much about him right now, and normally this is when you get the poison arrows, but I'm gonna do some fun stuff to kind of avoid his fight. Covert, you got time for one while I go ahead and just escape our good friend.
All right, sounds good. We have a $150 donation from Mr. Anonymous, who says, good luck and good gaming. First time donating and watching.
Okay. If you miss any of these prompts, you die. So I will try.
It's pretty gruesome too. Yeah. Like you don't want to die here.
Yeah. The two quick time events are C to dodge and F for melee attack to hit the bear. You got to do it during the window. It's relatively forgiving actually. So it's kind of nice about this game is that there are QTEs, but for the most part, they actually incorporate into the combat itself. So C as a QTE becomes C to dodge and attack in game. And we have a little bit more walking. We're almost done with kind of the intro section, which is. There's a lot of walk, talk, story, so
we'll just casually bleed internally while we get some more donations.
We need a heal, and it'll take a little while. So yep, Covert.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. We have $10 from Soulrick, who says, hey, SGDQ, first-time donator here and long-time viewer. This is the first year I'm able to donate and buy some merch, so here I go with my little contribution. Keep up the great work, and greetings from Spain.
Okay. Oh, got one more. You can do one more.
Okay, sure. It looks like we have a $50 donation from CA Breadsticks, who says, wish I was there.
All right. So we now have full movement. We now have a bow. And I don't want to fight that bear again, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to take a different route.
That bear's super scary.
Yeah, this is slightly abstracted from what I think most people do when they first play the game. We're going to look to the back, scramble, and be out of bounds. And that's kind of how a lot of out of bounds in this game works. You just look at something, well, look the opposite of something, go third person with your aim, and just scramble back into it. You definitely need a few caveats to that will definitely affect how we get out of bounds. But this skips the entire bear sequence, so we no longer have to fight any bears. No bears will be harmed in this run, outside of the one we just kind of hit a few times.
One thing to mention too, you may have just noticed him backtracking there. It was just to load up the next area.
The loading was a bit slow, so I actually missed the loading, the trigger for the cutscene. We can now progress as needed, though. This is a fairly simple skip. You just jump here, and you jump there.
I still find it so stupid that the skywalk is so much harder, and yet this does the same thing.
There was another way around it was incredibly difficult and like took forever to learn.
And I think it's slower too.
It is much slower. It's actually like probably like 20 or 25 seconds slower versus just jumping on a rock. Okay, jump out here. Oop. That's okay. There we go.
Yeah.
So this skips, we're going to skip through most of the Soviet installation. We have to get Laura captured. This game's very good about its triggers. So if you need something to progress in the game, you can't avoid it usually in terms of like plot line. If you need something to like, make a jump or move in the future, you can maybe get by that. Here's some friends.
That was a window, by the way.
Yeah, that was a solid wall, but we did not need to do much with it. Solid objects in this game have a different meaning. This cutscene, when I skip it, I'll be able to move a little bit before it ends, so maybe I'll just run into a guy, which I will because it's more fun that way.
So like we just said about the window, like the same thing for the door.
Yeah. And unfortunately, doing that means I do have to reload a checkpoint right about here because the game did not load everything properly because I, rolled through a door instead of doing the normal plot line. What ends up happening with this game is that because you skip so much, you have so few of the resources you need to kind of progress it normally. So
that was a fence.
Yeah,
like,
that's a fence. You can grab the ledge of the box there, and then you just. I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm so used to doing these, just like you just roll through the thing and you're fine. Ooh, I can not die here. Okay.
And now we're back for a swim.
Yeah. So a lot of what happens is you have so few resources because you skip so many that you have to keep just doing abuses or glitches. Abuses sounds really negative.
We skipped like 3 upgrades so far or something. No, we've only skipped the poison arrows, I think.
Yeah. And like everything else we've picked up. And like the end result though is like we're gonna just skip so many upgrades and have so few resources that we'll have to keep using weird glitches that end up saving a little bit of time. So here's that melee swing into a melee swing again to get me up this, to show what it's like if I miss. That was on purpose.
So that was what it's like. Here it's in succession.
Yeah. I swung my second swing too early.
Yeah, that'll happen. It's like a pretty consistent rhythm, but it is a rhythm.
Yeah.
I want to take a note, just like, the cool thing about Out of Bounds in this game is that this is actually a super cool game to explore and not in the tomb raiding idea. Like, if you learn the very basics of how to get out of bounds, there's actually a lot of cool, just random stuff around.
I think you could tell that they were trying to polish this game quite a bit and didn't know what they'd end up using. So quite often in development, it can be easier for a company to, like, if you already have the models and textures, just kind of put stuff there. And, like, maybe you develop
by the way, this is prison.
Yes, this is the prison section. It has not finished loading. It has now finished loading. There's a lot of really difficult tricks here that I'm very scared for. So first we gotta get past these cutscenes. The true enemy. Plot in a video game. Okay, this is my favorite weapon in the game. It's the pipe. Also, Laura's incredibly strong and
Just like,
she is swole.
Part of the ponytail, man.
Yep. And that is the last we'll see.
like just look at this ponytail. Like, come on.
That is the last we'll see of the pipe.
Noch ein Grund mehr hier
It was my favorite weapon, and we only have it for about 5 seconds.
Moment of silence.
Good work, pipe. Good work. Coming up, though, we get a different bow. I believe we just had like the handcrafted bow before. This is the composite bow. And coming up is a very strange glitch because I'm not able to do a lot of actions right now. I need to get out of bounds, though, and save much time.
So, like, we don't have the scramble that Studio used earlier.
So So I need to, at the proper moment, let go of my aim for a second, hold back, and, well, we'll see what happens. A lot of stuff can happen here. I think I'm just short on the angle. This is one of the harder tricks in that, like, a little bit early there, in that it can go, even if you do it well, it can still go wrong, and you can still end up out of bounds in the wrong way.
There it goes.
Yep. So now I've teleported up here. I'm out of bounds. I'm not going to fall if I jump. Had to confirm that, and that actually skips retrieving your loot and about a minute of walking and talking.
Yeah, it's just like plot. There's a projector showing like plot important things.
Oops. I need to reload my save though because I don't have the ability to walk. Because it was a walk and talk section, and I never actually. Well, no, I have the ability to walk. I can't run until I reload.
You can't run because you didn't talk while you walk.
Yeah, it's like you could definitely walk because it's a walk and talk, but it's not a run and talk. This is the scramble through wall again, except we get through one wall, and we gotta get through two. And we did. Additionally, you can jump on this fun set of lockers and then fall off them, all on purpose. And then once I get up here, and I've used my good RNG, I can fall off again, all on purpose.
These are some round square objects.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
What we're actually farming for here is good ponytail RNG.
Yes, okay. So now I am back out of bounds. It actually looks really inbound till you get up here, and then it's just...
And then everything just kind of goes.
Yeah. All right.
Like, what is the floor? Like,
I mean, what is anything in Telora?
Who?
Sorry.
You mean L-Dog?
L-Dog, L-Money, L-Croft. Let's go ahead, pop through this floor. I didn't actually see how much wood I picked up. I don't have enough to make arrows. That's going to be, I have to remember to make a few later.
we knew it was going to be one in the marathon.
Yeah. So there's some RNG in picking up wood. It's either 1 or 2. You need 2 to craft arrows, and I got 1. That's fine. There's another pickup on the way out of here.
Do you have time for a quick donation, Studio?
I'm gonna come through more walls, but it should be stuff people are pretty familiar with. So yeah, go for it.
All right, we have a $25 donation from Board Game Crew that says, "Hey Studio, can you stay in bounds? There are too many glitches, and we don't acknowledge this as a speed run, and we'd love to see the full story."
All right. Just for them, let's. I'm gonna need another 2 hours for the estimate. You guys okay with that? Okay. I'll need to know if production is okay with that.
I heard a very mournful no to my right.
Production just told us not to meme. I don't know what they're implying.
Something about no glitches. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, you got that cutscene skip there, which was interesting.
No, I got the like little animation.
The climb animation skip.
Okay. Here's a friendly character. He's gonna kill that guy. And then we're done looking at him for a bit.
And now here comes more terrible events that just pile on each other.
Yeah, this is, I think, where the game is a little extreme in how bad her day gets. Because first, she's captured, then she's blown up by that helicopter, knocked into the water, and like this is the bad beginning of a sequence of just
and this is like
bad
freezing
times.
water. Like
Yes.
remember, we are in Siberia. Like,
yeah. So it's gonna take about 30 seconds to swim out of this water. Covert, give us another.
All right, we have $10 from Dr. N Hairworks that says, "Dr. N Hairworks here. I have a PhD in hair studies, and I can confirm that Lara's hair is incredibly normal. Good luck with the run."
I don't know if hair studies is a real major.
Are you implying he's not a real doctor?
I don't know I'm not sure if he went to an accredited university. So this is all part of the prison escape. We have left the base, we swam in the water, it's overall been a pretty bad time. And I love the finisher for this, is she gets out and there's actually more stuff coming. Like this, when I got here normally, I thought this has to be the end of the sequence. We escaped, we're fine. No, there's actually still a helicopter chasing us. And even she doesn't seem enthusiastic about it. It's like, man, this is kind of a scary sequence, even though it is still kind of a timed running section. Is you can do a lot of jump rolls here, and if you mess one up and die, it wastes a ton of time. So I got a little bit more safer with the jump rolls. Instead of risking 40 seconds for half a second, I'll just do it the normal way every now and then.
I think that's a safe trade for a marathon run.
Okay, hop down here, hop up here. I forgot the rocket swings by you at the last second. If you get too far ahead, you can desync the game a bit. I've died to a rocket that was just supposed to be in the background. It's like, well, you know, the helicopter, he got it this time.
It was just there, so like, why not it blow up?
Yes. All right.
Back in the freezing water.
Back in the water, and now we're kind of out of the walk and talk section. Like this, the story's been set up. You know who the good guys are. You know who the bad guys are. There's still mysterious aspects to it, but a lot of the cutscenes that would explain it, we're going to be skipping.
And like from here on out, there's like no piecing this together.
Yeah, like no, you can kind of get some plot from what we've done, sort of. There's bad guys. It's Trinity.
We'll see what happens to Jonah. Like
like we'll see a little bit of what happens, but the game's gonna get weird. It was a little weird before, and it's gonna keep getting weirder. And a lot of this is gonna be kind of being out of bounds and trying to overcome the very strict limitations of what you can do out of bounds, because it's very free, but it's also, you know, very broken because not really developer supported. I have to first climb up this little ridge. You can see a cheetah, or I believe it's is it cheetah here?
it's like a tiger or something.
Yeah,
it's a big scary cat.
It's
like,
yeah,
just like
you have big cat enemies in this game. Leopard, that's the one.
It's a leopard. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Snow leopard.
I couldn't remember because like I know it's not a cheetah because they don't live in
Well,
Siberia.
look, it's whatever it is in German. You know.
Okay, we're gonna jump, press S twice, and I am now skywalking. Laura can now kind of fly on surfaces. You can actually get some speed. I'm gonna ramp up this wall. Let's go, let's go, go, Laura, go! Keep going, keep going, keep going, and then
Go.
slow down because there's death planes here. I don't want to die.
The best animation, though.
Yeah. So that just skips a huge chunk of the game, and we can actually get a really late game upgrade, which is the broadhead climbing arrows. And actually, so there is DLC in this game, and we use one for the run.
Pay to win for like 30 seconds. Jeez.
It's like 4 minutes. It saves $1 if I use the DLC. Or it's like $4 and it saves $1 if I use the DLC. No, save a minute if I use the DLC, and it's $4. That's what I mean to say.
Well, I mean, I don't use it, so apparently I'm $1 richer.
Yeah. So what you need it for is the pistol, because when we go out of bounds with the arrow, the bow and arrow, in the mine, you don't have your gun, and you're supposed to get it back from a cutscene where you retrieve all your equipment again. Which also means I don't have any equipment, which is why I had to spend that time collecting arrow parts and crafting arrows. So because of that, you need a gun for different later parts of the run. And I think the decision was, you know, it's DLC, it's a little annoying, but it saves a bunch of time, and it's a really cool skip, so it's worth investing in it. So I'm out of bounds right now. I need to load the next area without falling inbounds. Be very careful about this. That's the next area loading.
All right, nice.
Okay, I need to not fall out of bounds, which is about to do because it's a bit too far to the left.
Once again, it's really tight, and this doesn't help that we barely see Laura's model in all of this nonsense.
I also have to not fall inbounds. That's important too. Is inbounds or out of bounds is a reset at this point. So I need to get over here into the mines. We are in the mines. We have 2 friends coming up. What they don't tell you is that Laura, I guess this would be poisonous? No, venomous. If you touch them, they die. So our friends, we touched them, they died.
I guess they figured out she has cooties or something. Who knows?
I like this section because you can jump roll at really low heights. And it looks really goofy. Okay. So we now have arrows. We now have the broadhead climbing arrows, which we'll need to progress here. And the goal is to not spend time killing enemies in this game, but dealing with the fact that we have really low resources right now. I don't have a lot of pistol ammo. I don't have any arrows because I need to craft it still. And this guy right here, I need to distract him and then hit him kind of right here. And he dies in one shot instead of having to deal with his helmet.
I think your arrow hit the box.
That guy's died. We got him. He's okay. Well, he's not okay, actually. That's kind of the point.
Yeah, I think your arrow hit that box.
Which guy?
When you first fired off, I think your arrow hit the box.
No, it's there. It's the yellow ribbon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Don't worry, man. I got this. I've been doing this for a while. I've been playing a lot of Rise of the Tomb Raider lately. It's a pretty good game.
Something about being in the marathon.
See, that was on purpose. That was a missed jump that I meant to miss. It's going to affect RNG in the future, and I won't have to pick up more lumber. That's all on purpose. We got to cut these ropes. We're going to loot this guy because it can give us useful things like ammo and ammo that time. And then climb back up here. Is that arrow reachable? Yes, yes it is. Okay. And then, let's see if I get this. Yes.
Nice.
So something about this climbing is that Laura actually has really delayed inputs for climbing. So if you want to like shift directions and jump, you have to shift like a full, I'd say, half second before, or she will just kind of jump in the direction you're holding previously, which is really dangerous and scary for certain sections. I want to take this guy out with arrows because it is a stealth kill. If you hit somebody with an arrow and not in the arm, they just die if it's stealth mode. And then this trick, let's see if I get it. Nah, not quite.
We got some eyeballs there.
Yeah, because depending on your graphic settings, you might see Laura's eyeballs every now and then. This is a relatively difficult skip. Hopefully, okay.
There it goes.
I was a little bit scared because it's related to your FPS. So if our FPS was just under what we needed, it would have been very difficult to actually get out of bounds there. Okay, I'm gonna jump from here. This jump's really annoying because you're not supposed to make it. So the game offers no support, like you can't climb there normally. And then let's go ahead and slide down this rope. If you play this game casually, you'll know this section. This is where you have to open the door to a lost city.
It's a very long-winded puzzle.
Yes, it's a decent puzzle. You can tell the door is already messed up. This is the final section, and the final thing you'll normally open. The devs didn't intend for you to come here first. It's supposed to be last and last only. So by opening this door, this part of the door, we will actually open everything and not have to do the other two switches. I think that's it. I did not count properly, but we got the voice line, so that's a good sign.
There's the rope arrows we picked up in the prison.
Yes. If the cutscene goes long, I don't know if you saw it, but you'll see Laura pick up some rope and like look at it. So remember that this door is not supposed to be open, and the game will do something a little bit funky as a result. We have to load this barrel with water, though, to get the crane to fall and burst open the darrow.
We got some nice resources there.
Yes.
And there goes the door.
Okay. So escape sequence. There's quite a few of these. They're all on timers, interestingly enough. But outside of the ones in Syria, the timers aren't really scary because the roll will save enough time, and there's usually not a major out of bounds section for it. So remember that door? It's back.
Oh, and some rocks are there too.
Yeah. The door does not load render properly, or I think it reloads itself because it goes, well, you haven't actually destroyed me because there's 3 other parts to this, so...
It might be also because you reach the other side as well.
Exactly. There's some trigger in there where it's just like, yeah, this door is real and exists. Except it doesn't because in the cutscene. Okay, this is the most precise out-of-bounds slip in the game. A lot of them you can actually be kind of loose with. This one is a little bit tricky for me just because I'm not super familiar with this setup. Nope. Oh, almost. Get out of there. What's fun is if you get her out of bounds a bit, she will just kind of like
that full
flounder because she's not really inbound. Like she's trying to get out of bounds here.
That full 360 ponytail swing.
Okay. All right. It should be relatively fast to get her out, so I have a pretty good idea pretty quickly if it works or not. I have to aim between these two guys. Nah. All right.
So I guess one thing we can talk about is, yes, we are running on PC because a lot of these tricks are PC exclusive due to the high FPS. However, it's super finicky in the fact that you need to have your FPS at exactly 100 FPS. The community agreed on it because there's some things that having higher than 100 FPS makes in the game. By the way.
Yeah. And so like having the right FPS helps there. I think this is actually a tricky game to run on different setups because a lot of the graphic settings that work on one setup may not work on the other. So things look a little bit different from my home PC, and that just makes things a little bit harder. It really only becomes an issue with, I'd say, that skip and maybe one coming up in the future. So hopefully it's not a problem. We'll just say that was all intended and on purpose. The game has trouble loading here because we're not supposed to be here. This is not surprising.
But I mean, hey, take some time and enjoy the scenery.
Yeah, let's go ahead. We don't need Laura in the shot. It's a beautiful scenery. It's a beautiful game. Go ahead and enjoy what we see. Just gonna keep platforming.
Oh.
Laura will come back. This section,
Now she's
like I said,
again.
it looks really good. This is my favorite part of it.
Floating trees.
And if I turn to the side, the ground will load back in. Essentially, it doesn't know what to render because it's not loaded properly. So here's a little yellow patch. It's a campfire. The game's back. And we're going to go through the archive section. You normally have to do a lot of plot stuff there.
You like help some villagers out, and then you go in, I think, when the village gets attacked?
Yes, essentially like they're fighting a war with Trinity, and you support them through it. But all of that takes a lot of time, and really we just want to go ahead and go along with the plot. So like I said, this game is good about story triggers. I just need to go ahead and do the final section of the story here, and it will essentially complete what I need to progress. So we don't really fight the war, we just kind of do our thing. By entering through the back. The reason we actually had to deload that area was to get rid of some blockers that normally exist there to keep you from progressing until you've already been here before. So this skips a little finicky. We just look over here a bit and then turn to the left. Nah, not quite.
Maybe we'll get some eyeballs here.
Well, definitely. Like,
yeah, there they are.
Is she going out of bounds or not? It's hard to tell with this one sometimes.
She might be stuck in the wall.
I think we're kind of...
There.
Okay, I'm gonna try that again.
Yeah. there's some good eyes.
There we go. And that should be no. It's unfortunate.
So
yeah, I think the scary thing about this game, like doing it in a marathon, is
just how inconsistent it is. Like without the same setup you normally have when you're doing runs.
Yeah. So like now we're out
and we're swimming again.
We're swimming on water.
Someone in the void.
That is the entire next area. You can actually go walk on the kind of blank spaces in front of us. There's physics on it. And you can actually, if I was more comfortable, I would actually walk around and hop back in. But it's a scary thing to do because I don't want to fall out of bounds, as it is a dangerous place to be. There's a lot of water here because there's a water escape section that you would normally be doing to escape this game, and actually used to be part of the route. But we'll get to that later, as how we leave these underwater archives. Broadhead climbing arrows come in huge impact though, because I think we go through. This is the tomb, where there's normally a bonus objective.
I forget if you revisit this in the story.
You don't revisit it, but I think you can, and I think this is this section right here, where you're supposed to revisit the tomb.
No, I think this is like a separate thing later on.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not part of the plot though. You don't have to actually come here, I believe.
Honestly, the plot is so like all over the place.
It's not part of the run, but if we clip through this crate. It takes us into the tomb, and this is the big part right here. This is how we kind of skip all of the war and all of the things that we don't want to do. There's a door right here. It's kind of the normal clip. You scramble back, look to the right, aim your bow, and just vamoose. So we get to meet I'm going to say the worst enemy of the game, barrels. We need these barrels to blow up some structures like that. The problem with them is that they're a little bit inconsistent physics-wise. So we blew up that first barrel to let this barrel free. I'm going to go ahead and drag him twice, just to be safe. That second one didn't do anything. I don't care. I want to make sure that barrel reaches its destination.
Just hope and pray, chat. Just hope and pray.
So 150 experience. We got it. The barrel's on its way home. There's some more barrels to navigate. One's already in place. We got the second one in place, and we need 3 total. So we got to grab this third guy. This is where the physics get a little bit wacky, because the barrels will sometimes just kind of do what they want. So this is a physics puzzle. You attach the barrels to the ladder or to the beam, and then when I drag it here, hopefully, okay, both barrels want. That's exactly what we want. Because it balances it out, and it gets a second barrel. It gets a second barrel up.
It's really struggling.
Yeah. I want to go ahead and cut this guy. Just let it clip through me because it's funny.
Just like that.
Get around here. And then I can shoot this barrel, and in this cutscene, I'll knock the other barrel down to the water. These are not skippable. You can see the barrel traveling along, so it's actually not that much wasted time because we'd have to let that barrel get along anyways. It was a bit far back, so it did take a while to reach. You can also reload your gun. All right, this is the first section of the game where I can soft lock the run. And it's scary, but this is a pretty consistent trick, so I'm setting myself up for failure by saying I'm going to do this the first time.
Oh, yeah.
So we need to get out of the archives. We need to shoot this barrel. As this animation plays, I'm in front of a campfire. So once the statue lands, I'm going to go ahead and press a button I have bound to the sit and the escape menu at the same time. Press left here once. Skip this cutscene. As this fades, press enter. I'm in the menu to choose a location. We're going to teleport to that location. And the game's going to be really weird because we're going to see nothing. We're going to see nothing. We're going to hear some sounds right about, like, I'd say now of, like, arrows.
Yeah, there they are.
That is Laura dying. It is a time section, so Laura can't actually stand around, and she was standing around. It reloads us at the campfire. We teleport while we load, and by getting back up, we have now teleported. So assuming I chose the right location, which I did, it'd be really odd if I didn't, we're going to have a really long load because the game had nothing pre-cached or ready for us to actually enter this area, and we will have completely left the archives. If everything went well, I'll let you know in a few seconds. Maybe a few more seconds. It's a long load. Covert to give us a donation. It went well.
Just watching that circle spin.
Yeah.
Still have time for that donation?
Yeah, toss it out. We got to go to the entrance of the archives to load the next area, so it's going to be a little bit, so give us a donation.
All right, great. We have $50 from Grant Parker that says, Rise of the Tomb Raider game dev here had to donate during a game I worked on. Thanks to everyone for playing and running for an awesome cause. Also, Lara says, kill those animals.
If you've seen any Shadow of the Tomb Raider gameplay so far, that is her personality now. She is all about those animals dying. All right, this is a backup if you missed that first jump. Let's see if I get it. Okay. That section was scary in practice because I was pressing a button incorrectly. But now we are out. We're out of the archives. We have our good friend Jonah. Now that we visited the archives one more time, he's here.
Jonah.
You're back from the mountain.
And we actually have another long load time. This is loading up the entire mountain section that we were in before. So as this loads, like these cutscenes are all fast. This last one's gonna take forever though. So we have time for a donation now.
All right, well, we have quite a big one. We have $1,000 from Mav150.
Woo.
Mav says, I've been an avid watcher of GDQ for a few years going, and I'm excited to see the new Tomb Raider being run. Love having our donations going to a great cause. Good luck to all the runners.
Sophia.
All right. We are in Walk and Talk mode, but we're going to try and escape as much as we can. This is a section where Jonah's been captured. He's having a tough time, so we're going to help him out. And we're getting on what is I'm going to say this one of the scariest parts of the run for me. Most of these sections, if I died, it would be about 30 seconds to a minute lost, which it happens, it's not great.
You just got to deal with it.
Yes. Coming up is a section which, I don't know why I'm telling you guys in advance, but if I die towards the end, it's going to be about 3 minutes lost. And even starting the trick is difficult. It's actually, I'd say, one of the hardest sequences in the game. But first, we have to go ahead and get to that section. So this is near the Soviet prisons that we escaped from earlier. The advantage here is that we don't really need to do anything to progress the plot besides get where we need to go. I'm going to go ahead and skill up. Skills in this run are, like I said, they're used to make you go faster or survive. Actually, that might be Monolith that I said that in, but 2 runs in one night fry the brain.
It's still correct. So
yeah. So we need this to go faster, this to go faster, this to not die, this to not die. That gives us a little bit more resistance versus damage. It gives us a way to kill some enemies, and it will hopefully make the end of this game a little bit simpler. Coming up is a little snow section, like the deep snow we trudged through before, but you can roll through most of it. You just do a few steps at the very end there. Also coming up is a split it's called the Jonah split, even though he's not in this section, because Laura just says,
Jonah.
right there. And now comes the hard part. So, gotta get out of bounds first. And that's what makes this tricky is this entire section is done out of bounds. So this is my setup for it. Different runners have had different ones. Mine works for me, so I like it. Okay. We are now, I believe we're on the roof. Okay. Gotta roll. We gotta get out of here, which is tricky because that doorway will actually block us, even if we look like we're on the other side of it. So I need to roll to the side and then out of it in a way where she gets through.
This is just to make the camera like meet back up, so Studio has full control.
Yes. Gotta just kind of jiggle the camera a bit, and I'm out of bounds. It's also a soft lock section. I do have a backup save because coming up is a checkpoint that if I hit, it will reload me, and I have no way to get back or progress. So climb up this mountainside. Fall down this mountainside. I'm trying to fall inbounds. Let's see. Okay.
There, yeah.
Or
okay.
fall out of bounds, but on the right surface. We're still out of bounds. We're still out of bounds. This is the very obvious section where you can tell what's happening. And just got to keep progressing through all these very, very easy visual cues. The game does not expect you to be here, so the trees are incredibly rude.
But they're super scenic.
Yes. This is the easiest scramble up a mountain in the game. You just press back, and you go up a mountain. I think I'm going the right way. To be honest, I wasn't sure for a second there. Okay. So climbing up.
There's like a bunch of birds in the background.
Yeah, they're confused. Like, what the heck is she doing? They're the only person to recognize it. She's like running around out of bounds. I need to not die here. Everybody, I didn't die. I'm really happy about that. Okay, I need to figure out where I am. Okay, there I am.
Shows the L-Dog's voice actor.
Yes. And I'm where I want to. Did I load properly? No, it did not load properly. All right, we gotta go to that jump I got a plus on again.
Don't die. Don't die, please.
Yes. I think my approach is a little bit weird on that one. So get back here.
So once again, full of like very noticeable landmarks.
Yeah, I'm very careful about this just because I don't want to die. Like, I don't want to die in this section, and it's very easy to die in this section. It looks like there's like a lot of walls to walk on, but sometimes there's just big old pits because they don't expect you to be here, so they don't have to make this continuous in any sort of way.
And now we don't even have Laura anymore.
Yep, and she's back. If I get stuck in between this tree, it's a soft lock. I did not soft lock the game. Well, actually, you can reload, so it's just a reload at that point. This is the scariest section for me. I need to get her across this wooden bridge. And the problem is those wooden planks, they have holes in them, and they're real holes. Like, a lot of games might cover them up, but you fall through them. That's scary. I don't know if I get out of this, actually. Okay. I gotta do it again, but I didn't fall. Okay. Wow. Okay. I need to be very careful about this. Falling here is okay. I think it's generally all right.
This section is not playing nice.
Yeah. I don't expect it to. I expect this section to be rough. I need to run across this is the thing. So I'm getting pushed to the side, which is unfortunate. You can jump across as well, but it's much riskier in my opinion. So we're going to keep playing this a little bit cautiously. Man, come on. Just let me across. Let me get across. It's not even the end of this section, actually, which is what's scary about this. Okay.
Once again, this looks pretty simple, but it's a lot tighter than it looks.
Yeah. This section, like I said, it's okay to fall through generally. That's because you don't. You fall, but you can get back up there. It's later steps that are scary. Like even here, I can actually just go around and go back in bounds if I need to, or back out of bounds. Not in bounds, not in bounds. It's weird because I consider out of bounds in bounds at this point.
We're never in bounds.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, we got past that, and I'm not pushed in, so we progress. So coming up is just a bunch of death planes. So if I jump, I'll die. So I'm not going to jump at a certain point. It's just running down a hill. If you know the path, you don't die. If you don't know the path, you die. So Covert, give us a good one.
All right, well, here we go. We have $10 from PyCallSup that says, "Hey studio, it's me, PyCallSup. Rise of the Tomb Raider was one of the first games I actively tried to speedrun, in no small part to you. It's amazing that you guys are able to do this every year for such a great cause. Been watching for years. In light of that, I decided it was finally time to donate now that I can. So, from the Swole Dad community, stud thong." Donation goes to Runner's Choice.
Shoutouts to all swole dads and swole moms. All right, that is a big scary section over. I could have fallen through the cracks at the very end and gotten stuck there, but it didn't happen, so hooray.
And now we're going to get a lot of red.
All right, I need to kill guys here. This is a combat section. There's a set way to do this. I cannot see anything, and I missed my first shot. I am totally about to die. I am totally not dead. So one of the upgrades I got was to let me do that. And completely screwed up the section because it had bounced into a bad position. The combat in this game is a little tricky because we don't have any good weapons. Like
You only have the bow and the pistol
we
here.
have the bow and the heavy pistol from the DLC. And like you normally upgrade all that stuff, and like the bow gets really good, and the pistol gets pretty okay.
And of course, you would have had the shotgun and the assault rifle.
Yes. And so like these are big armored guys you would shotgun. I think you get armor piercing ammo. I believe you do.
You do.
Yep.
It's been so long since I've done the combat normally that I forgot.
It's really one of the only things I'm ashamed about is that like a lot of the combat is really good, and you just kind of skip it.
Yes. So because of that, we have to use some extreme measures, which is going to be the gas can just to kind of blow people up as a group. I take out these first two guys because they are in a good position to kill me. So we fill up this gas canister, we throw it. Hopefully I don't hit the one on the right. This might be a little too far to the side. I did. This is scary. I might die here. Yeah, this is not going to go well, I feel. I'm not dead yet, though. No, I don't have any. I do not have any cloth, which is a little interesting. So I should have gotten one from a canister earlier, but I'll be able to pick some up for a section I need it on. I'm actually glad I tried to heal there.
Eingekeist.
Okay.
Ich muss vorsichtig vorgehen.
So shoot that guy. Shoot that guy. Okay, throw this canister. I did not hit it. Okay, cool.
That was really close.
Okay, so that guy on the right is aggro. That's fine. I need to shoot that gas canister, and then that's that section over.
Das war der letzte von ihnen. Ich muss zurück zu Jonah.
Okay. I am short one cloth that I'll need to heal with later. This is a longer loading screen because we're going back to the mountainous area, so Covert Muffin, give us another one.
All right, well, we have $25 from Gluten Classico that says, "I've been enjoying this crazy glitched run of the Lara Croft Catastrophic Misfortune Simulator. Keep on aiming, floating, swimming, and other traveling through walls. Go, studio."
I feel so bad for her in this game because she has such a bad time. Like, it really is just like, this video game character that's not real is just getting destroyed, and it's a little bit too much for me.
The reboots, like the reboots in general are just really bad about that.
It's just like, to be fair, Uncharted's also like that, where it's just like Nathan Drake's gonna have a terrible, terrible Friday, and we're unapologetic about this.
He's got a free weekend.
This is a section where it's faster to run because the ceiling and the slope makes it really bad to jump roll. There's not a lot of sections like this, so
Let's just appreciate the addition in the sequel because Tomb Raider 2013 doesn't have a run button.
Ooh. Okay. Broadhead climbing arrows. Let us get over here. Let us jump over here. Let us jump up here. And let's see if I fall to my death. It's possible. It's a very short death, though, so I don't mind it too much. You can make that jump, but if you miss it, there's a checkpoint literally right there. And it's something very easy to attempt and like mess up on with in-game time, but because deaths would be bad here, it's a little bit scarier. This is the orrery section. I skip a cutscene by jumping up there, and I need to jump up here, and then not fall off will be the goal. Okay, I need to make sure I don't actually trigger the cutscene, just because it's you can't move properly because of the camera movement. And that little ledge is a little bit mean sometimes. Laura's very kind of forceful in her movement sometimes, so it can be hard to make precise movement. So I need to jump up here. No, not do that jump. That was the extreme jump that went a little bit too far. Essentially, I'm trying to get higher up. With the jumps, if you try and climb up, you can sometimes get a little bit more height, which is how I do that double jump sometimes. And like, this is a little bit crazy.
This is probably the most vertical wall we're trying to ascend using this climbing method.
Yes. And it's a pretty rough trick just because there's a few sections where if you miss it, you don't die, but you just fall to the beginning. And it makes me feel bad. So, and getting onto this first ledge right here is tricky just because, oh, that's not the way I normally get up there, so that's cool.
Hey, we take those.
Yep. Yes, okay. And we're going to crawl out of bounds right here. And this leads to a water section. This is the water that we were just in on the way into this area. And this lets us swim out of bounds over here. This is going to skip all of the orrery section, which is a very long, actually pretty fun puzzle. And I just have to press E. You get a little bit more distance with Lara if you jump. And this is a scary jump, so let's see. No! I'd rotate the camera, which I should not do. I got scared there. We missed the jump, so we're going to fall to our death. This reset is a little bit long of a load because it's taking us back to the point we were just at, but it already starts to despawn some of this area because of how far we moved.
Once again, that jump was just really tight because, like the platforming in Syria, Laura's very difficult to control in the air.
It's like she has a surprising amount of air control. Like she can do a lot in the air. It's actually incredible for a 3D video game character. Like you're not locked in really at all. But it does mean that she is still not the easiest person to move. Okay.
That was a lot cleaner.
Yes. It would take a couple of seconds. It takes a couple seconds just to bounce her out. So one attempt to get out of bounds this time, which is nice. Okay. And then do this. All these jumps lead out of bounds. I think she eventually dies if you fall here. Okay, made the jump, and then we'll wait. And then the next area loads. I'm going to say now. You coming? You coming? Okay, okay, I might have just been off the trigger. There we go. There's the rest of the game. So we've had a couple crashes. I'm going to take the safe option here. There's a very risky and dangerous way to get through this area. It saves about 15 seconds, I'm going to say. Be a little bit cautious about that. Oops, I am in a cutscene, so I can't run. So I'm going to do the safer option. It's still glitchy. Here where you first meet the ancient guards. They have immortality. They're guarding this area. There are bros. Hey, man. What's up? You're not supposed to go up here, so they don't have any collision, nor do they react to you whatsoever. So I'm going to go ahead and jump here and crawl back in bounds. This is going to give me an item that's very important. It gives me the grappling hook. For some reason, going through this cutscene or going through the checkpoint by it will give you the grappling hook. Normally you loot in the chest. Normally you have by now. You actually need to get through the out-of-bounds area I was in before that had the bridge. So we can go ahead and grapple, which will be, you need to beat the game. It's a few key places. Instead of going through that cutscene, you can actually trigger the side of it, which will just trigger the checkpoint, which gives you the grapple. And then from there, you can do some crazy out-of-bounds that I'm not the best at, and they're already risky by themselves. Instead, we just climb over here. We meet a good friend with a very big nose. And let's see, we got a little bit more climbing, so you can probably toss out another donation.
All right, well, we have $20 from Catsworth that says, "Studio, help, I have a work question." Also, have my first ever AGDQ donation.
Love you, Catsworth. Catsworth is a very cool dude who I wish he could be here right now on the couch, replacing one of you. I'm not going to tell you which one. Argue amongst yourselves. No, I'm kidding. So we have to. So that bridge is like a kind of a teeter-totter bridge. You will normally bounce on it, but instead I'm able to aim down sights, and I can avoid the part that will actually force you out. Then you jump out of bounds. You know, you get out of bounds. You do the normal stuff. This climb up here is interesting in that I'm actually not going to scramble or do any movement. It's entirely camera control and the aiming. So if I look to the left a little bit slowly, I start going, if I look to the left, let's reload or re-aim, I start going up, and then I have to try to navigate her in a way just through the aim. There's a little bit of button pressing. Unfortunately, it's being a little mean to me right now. I'm gonna blame this control on FPS, even though I don't think it's actually. I think it's just me. Okay. What's happening here, though, is the collision of Laura and the wall is getting real messed up. There we go.
There it goes.
Not quite. I'm getting too far to the side, which is a little bit strange. Like it's kind of putting me off.
At least we get some good eyeballs in there.
Yeah, I get the eyeball perspective. No. You can make it all the way up without jumping, but if you get close enough, you can jump to cover that last bit of distance. We're a little bit short though. Let's try looking down. See if that helps us. Maybe? Okay, we're up.
Now we got a nice long bridge here.
Yep, just got to roll across this bridge. There's some nice movement tech in that if you double roll, it saves some time, just because it's the little ledges will actually let you get a second roll in. And I'm going to melee attack here, and then we're going to freeze for a second. This will go ahead and stop all fall damage. So Laura just fell from lethal heights and was totally cool about it.
Just drops like a rock.
Let's try and clip out of bounds. Clipped out of bounds. That's nice. That one's taken me a couple tries before. But like a lot of this is just kind of memorizing that weird rock that if you aim at will let you get out of bounds. And coming up is the entrance to the Lost Immortality City. It's been sealed away for like 1,000 years. Actually like 2,000. I forgot the timeline for this game, but it is definitely over a millennia. And we'll go ahead and kind of get towards the end sequence of the game.
There's a grappling hook that comes into play there.
Yep, which you need to get over here. And we got some story walking, so Covert Muffin. Give us a bad donation. What's a bad donation like? I said ask for a good one last time. What's a bad one?
Oh, you want a bad one? Okay.
Oh, boy.
All right, I have one down here. Hang on, let me scroll to it.
I'm glad you had one prepped, because I know they filter out the bad donations, so I'm glad you actually had one in mind somehow.
We love you, whoever this is, though.
All right.
Not till we hear. Let's not say things we can't.
All right, I've got it. We've got $50 from Unfriendly Blob.
Oh.
It says, I'll donate another $150 if Studio starts pronouncing Lara correctly for the rest of the run.
I am so sorry that Dr. Boars will not be receiving that money. Okay, Lara, right? I'm going to try. I make no promises because my brain just immediately goes to Laura mode the second I try and say something while doing anything.
I have like PTSD of a certain section in 2013 because one of the characters just immediately goes, Lara, get up here, and then like repeats it over and over again because you're busy somewhere else out of bounds.
Okay, let's go ahead. This is funny because this section's actually all intended. Like that's not even like the game lets you get through there quickly.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool exploration in this area.
Okay, so this is fun. You're supposed to get through this gate later. Because of that, there's a trigger that if I cross through the gate and reload, it will now load the entire next area. So the assumption there is once you get through the gate, you've completed everything you need to, which is generally true. Let's see. You know, I'm going to be extra safe on this. Get a lot of extra healing. So now, I've now got 4 healing. I normally only need 3 for runs, but I had the cloth, so why not pick up the berry?
And we're back out of bounds again.
And we're back to reloading. That was intentional. So we need to get her. We need to get to the beginning of the ascent. I think there's normally a huge fight sequence here once you try and get through the main doors.
Yeah, it's a huge fight sequence. You get like another one of those trebuchets.
Yeah. We don't want to. I love trebuchets. There's a time and place for them. They can hurl, what it's like a 60-kilogram boulder, like 300 meters, I think. Like really, it's like they're fantastic little things. But instead, we're just gonna skywalk right out of here.
Little?
Well,
They're quite
okay. They're very great things that are very large. Miniature trebuchets are unheard of, I guess. So we're out of bounds. The surface here is a little bit odd because it's not really mapped properly, and we're going to use that to our advantage. There's a wall here that if I try and jump through, will not let me, but if I run, I can run through it kind of by jumping a little bit late here. And we're still out of bounds. We're just going around the area with the door, which avoids all the trebucheting. Let's see, get up here. Nope. This one's a little finicky because this wall was not meant to be whatever I'm doing climbed in that way. Gonna have an FPS chug as this area loads. That's fine. And then hopefully there are death planes, so if I go down, I die. I died. This one has been really finicky. I'm not sure why, but like on this machine we had a lot of trouble with it yesterday, so hopefully it's okay. It's gonna take me a little while to get back there, so I'll take another donation. Let's get two. Let's get two.
All right, two you shall have. We have $25 from Allnate that says, Studio, the Power Word Awesome crew is enjoying your moment in the sun. Keep up the good work.
I miss you, PWA. I'll raid with you one day.
You're always welcome back. Maybe. I
I
don't
was
know.
say, like, are you sure about that?
Yeah.
If I show up to raid on Tuesday, am I getting an invite? I don't think I am at this point.
No, I'm sorry.
All right.
You had a good run. You're washed up, man.
Okay. I'll get back into WoW one day. One day. What was the second one?
All right, we have $100 from Uller RM who says, who did it better, Lara Croft or the Skyrim horse? Greetings from a fine thread.
Shout out to the thread. Empty quote. So I think the thing is, it's not about which is better. It's about combining the two. So if you take the power of the Skyrim horse, and then you take the out of bounding power of Lara, because the Skyrim horse really only handles its slopes. So if you combine these two, you've got like a superpower that can't be stopped by any walls. Death planes, maybe not. I'm not sure about the death planes. All right, take two.
This time it's personal.
That's okay. You can fall at the bottom. That's fine.
Come on.
We got through it?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to, but it is actually easier if you fall at the bottom just because it gives you time to position correctly. This is the final ascent. What's my time at, by the way?
109.
109?
Well, 110.
110, okay. We might still get underestimate. It's been a dicey run. Couple errors, couple very minor errors on my part, you know, the smallest things, all the crashes. But hopefully we can get through it here in the next 11 minutes. The final ascent's a really fun section because it's a lot of just tricks, like a lot of just movement. You know, the fortress is under attack, and that's going to definitely come into play later. But the enemies aren't really in this section. Like, the fighting is exposed to being elsewhere.
It's just a lot of like very creative platforming and
Yeah.
just moving around.
We actually don't glitch that much or out of bounds that much. This isn't out of bounds though. I'm able to get out of bounds by choosing the left thing to swing on. It's a pretty precise jump. Got jump one. This one I have to not fall off, which the game loves to make you fall off there. And then that is the out of bounds, and we are back on track.
3 cheers to the tiny out of bounds.
Yeah. It's a little out of bounds, saves a little bit of time. It's cute. It's cute out of bounds. Okay. It's actually faster. It's faster to wall climb there than jump, I believe, just because the jumping can actually put you in a really weird position. Coming up is my favorite speed tech, where it's lots of intricate and difficult movements. You know, it's one of those crazy things where you have to do things like press the spacebar a lot. And if you just press the spacebar a lot, I'm gonna get to the top of this, and I'm not gonna get knocked down by a boulder. Crazy tech, crazy hard tech, and then you press the spacebar a little bit more. This is the final ascent. They actually save a couple seconds by not falling, getting hit by that boulder, which is nice. So here's the action. I love the scene. You can actually fall down there if you mess up I mess up a jump and die, which is not going to happen. Not possible. And the actual scaling here is a little bit weird because it's the same kind of wall climbing we've been doing most of the run in the ice. But what makes this tricky is there's a rounded corner here. Oh, which, yes. Oh, I can't reload there. So we fall on the ground. I guess the soldiers just kind of trample us at that point. Somebody else fell with us too, actually. So I'll take this a little bit slower. Luckily, we don't have to do the climbing section again. I need to not get hit beyond the wall when a boulder lands, or it will cause a little animation to play. I never noticed how long the scream on that guy was. Climbing up here, you can skip a little bit of this fall by pressing, by crouching and falling off. And normally she's recovering from a fall. Instead, we just made a tiny, tiny bit of progress. And we're just gonna climb up the rest of this. There's a way to save a couple seconds here if I jump, but the camera angle is really deceiving, and you'll sometimes just veer to the side and die. So it's the safer option. Sadly, a little bit slower to just kind of shoot here. Top right, I believe you'll see Laura get ammo, or she just did. If you don't have enough ammo, the game will actually give you some.
Yeah, the game's really good about making sure that you can progress through some of these sequences like that.
Yeah, we gotta shoot this guy. All right, the boot doesn't work, does some good work, but just doesn't cut it. So we just shoot this guy a bunch.
I like
I was gonna say, if you don't do it quickly enough, he does kill you. But the strategy there is just you shoot him so fast that it doesn't give him a chance to move his head around. This is a. I need to really point out that like I really don't want to die here, which is a terrible thing to say in a speed run. But if I die here, those enemies that were fighting each other no longer fight each other. They just fight me, and they're very good at fighting me. It turns out. They're actually like I'd say experts at fighting me. The reason I have healing items at all is honestly for this section. I popped. Let's heal up.
Yeah, that's a little bit important. Yeah.
So normally you want to have 3 up here in case of backup. I might still die if the enemies are very rude, which is very possible. Because I can get shot off this wall, and they're still shooting at me. I didn't kill any enemies there. And no, we did not die. Okay, chopper fight's coming up. This one's a little bit weird in that it's kind of cutscene. You can speed up in some ways. For example, this is gonna fire a catapult shot. Hopefully I hit it. And that lets me damage the helicopter right away, reload, and I skip the helicopter falling down animation. So now I've got some arrows. I've got some explosive arrows. We'll blow up these guys. Grab arrows. Blow up these guys. Oh no, got it.
That was nice.
That was very close. I think I missed the guy on the left. Like you can control this section quite a bit to stop some of the random spawns. You need to kill all the soldiers here. But the problem is you need to not miss. But doing so will cause the plane to spawn. Oh, I'm burning from arrows. Ah!
Hello, friend.
I'm gonna have to take care of some of. Oh, I'm still, I think, being burned. Okay, I'm on the verge of death, which is a little bad. Gonna heal up for a second to make sure I don't die. And then I have to go find the last guy who has just pleasantly joined us. I believe this should trigger the next section now. Yes. So we have to do what we did before, which is hit this guy or shoot a explosive catapult shot as this guy is below the shot. The annoying thing here is he can fly like out of the shot. Like he's in a fairly annoying spot right now, and hopefully will try and approach us. He's behind the wall. They're still loading the cannon shot or the catapult shot, so it's not the worst. I've also had some bad experiences here where I just kind of die for no reason. We'll see if it happens. Okay, so he has just done a big movement, so I should be able to. I need to not die. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Second shot. We need to actually kill the plane though. That's how that works. And we need one more shot for that. Hey.
At least explosive arrows make this pretty easy.
Yeah, there's one annoying thing, which is you can sometimes pick up 2 or 1 instead of 2. Whoa. Come on, man.
Did you just go through that guy's leg?
A little bit.
This is gonna be tight.
The problem is I don't have any explosive arrows. Okay, I thought the sequence ended. There we go. Okay, so that is the combat section done. I still have to destroy the helicopter. This final section, though, most of the arena gets destroyed. So I'm now down here. And instead of waiting for the our friendly catapult shots, I can actually shoot it 5 times with explosive arrows and die. Unfortunately, I got, I think, knocked out of the air by the rocket instead of just taking damage, which let the copter get a couple shots on me. And it ate up one of my explosive arrows, too. Ow! Oh, that blew up. That would explain that. I'm going to grab some arrows just in case, because there's a good chance I don't have explosive arrows for... Or just die instantly. See, this is the thing. It's like sometimes I've just died here. I'm not sure why. The game's just like, nah, you're going to go down. I missed a shot. Okay. If worst comes to worst, I can just do this the normal way, which I hate to do, but the game's being a little finicky right now. And I missed the shot again, but let's just proceed. Okay. Only got 1 explosive out of that one.
They got 1 again.
Yeah. I need to pick up the arrows. I think what happens is the damage on the helicopter will outpace the animation on your screen. And I've only been seeing this like here, but really just means I gotta not mess up and get hit.
This is really hitting home how finicky this game is. Once again, emphasizing that like there's no really gain, but if he dies, it's just a very immediate time loss.
So that's okay. Helicopter down. And this is the final kind of normal move fight. I need to get better at aiming. Sorry, got some nerves on me. What's the time at?
You're about 40 seconds to estimate.
We'll blame that on the crashes. So I need to hit those 2 guys in the head. And then I really want to make sure I kill the archer first. I've had some issues with spawning here. Whoa. Sorry, normally you have an explosive arrow, but because I had 1 at the start of the last sequence, it's making it hard to kill these guys. That guy should be easier, but his head's blocked by a rock. And I actually can't see it, so I'll just kill him.
Get 1 good choke in before the end.
I haven't actually done one of those executions in a while. They're apparently a really bad idea, because everybody just kind of kills you, it turns out. So this is the one, I promise. I just need to actually hit these arrow shots. The fully charged arrow actually does pretty good damage. But the problem is, like, I don't have a lot of ammo, and if these guys try and hit me, it's very hard for me not to get hit. Okay. Now I can probably take care of these guys right here, at least one of them. Okay. So I have to kill 2 sets of these guys. Ow. Oh, the fire hit me. Okay. The fire did not hit him though. So the fires here respawn 3 times. So this guy's gonna chase me again, which is fine. Actually lost sight of me for a second. And then I have to kill 3 more guys. That guy's nice and just kind of lines a shot up for you. Then I just missed the shots. There we go. And then the blue fire that will instantly kill them pops back here as well. Okay, so that is that sequence done. Now we just have the final boss fight.
Which, funny enough, the way you killed the final boss is the way you damage that bear.
Yeah, the bear and the boss are one and the same. It's like a very weird Banjo-Kazooie. This boss is weird. He took our weapon, so we can't hit him. So instead we have to run around in a really goofy way. He saw us for a second, he lost sight of us, so now we can melee him.
Time for a quick donation?
Not really.
There's not a whole lot left.
Yeah, I gotta throw this can. I did not pick up the can, so I gotta hide behind this wall. I did get the boss to turn around the other direction, because he's currently looking at us, which is unfortunate. If I get around him here, I should be able to get him in the back. There we go. All right, that is the final boss down, kind of. We just got to rip the bow back. I'll give the read on the last bit of this right here, and we get a donation, which is we got to shoot him once, reload to skip the death animation, and then we go finish the game. So time for donation right now.
All right, well, Unfriendly Blob with another $150 donation saying, as promised.
Thank you, Unfriendly Blob. Thank you, Lara. And time.
Nerves aside, that was a really good run.
Yeah. There were some chokes, there were some crashes. I think we all made some good friends. Shout outs to Unfriendly Blob, and shout outs to Lemi, specifically, and the Tomb Raider Discord, because they're super useful and super awesome people. And Lemi especially set up this like 4-hour tutorial that was just awesome for learning the game. Yeah, that was Rise of the Tomb Raider. Little rough, but feeling pretty okay. I think we're good to go.
Yeah.
All right. Adios.
All right, one more round of applause for our runner. Yeah. All right, that being said, as we set up for our next run, we are going to have an interview coming up for the Horror Block crew. So we will get to that in just a bit, but looks like we have a good number of donations here. So let's go ahead and read a few. We have a $25 anonymous donation that said, loved Rise of the Tomb Raider casually. Thanks for the very fun run, studio. Yeah, that run was awesome. We also have $5 from Infernal Translator that says, Lara Croft, exit stage left, pursued by bear. All right, and it sounds like our interviewees are actually ready, so I'm going to throw it over to Sumi for that interview.
Hello, everybody. You guys are watching Summer Games Done Quick 2018 live from Bloomington, Minnesota, and I am here with Pessimism and Maxi Lobes. So, guys, first up, we have the Tomb Raider speedrun. But then we have the Resident Evil HD remaster run by you, Pessimism, and then we have Fear by you, Maxi Lobes. So tell me, how are you guys feeling right now?
I'm very anxious, ready to knock it out of the water, though.
Anxious, but...
Excited.
So if you were to go like a ratio of anxious to excited, what would it be?
43.
43?
Yeah.
I'm going 37.
43 and 37. That is a very specific number from both of you. So what is your most anticipated part of your speedrun? No spoilers, though.
The gliding.
The gliding.
That's a good one. That's a good one, Tessie. The flying.
I like that one.
The gliding and the flying. All right, well, I did say no spoilers, so I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see what the gliding and the flying are. But we also have a bunch of questions from you guys, the fans out there watching. So let's start off with the first question by Jackson D77, which says, Pessimism and Maxi Lobes, how did you both find out about speedrunning, and how long have you been speedrunning?
I actually found out about speedrunning, like I would be at home playing Resident Evil 2, doing Leon A with a rocket launcher. That's how I started doing it. Then I found Switch and then GDQ. And speedrun long? 6 years?
6 years, that is a long time. How about you, Maxi?
Well, he's been doing it twice as long as I have. Started about 3 years ago. Found GDQ on YouTube. I was very shocked that I didn't know about it before. I was into it immediately. So I just picked up some of my favorite games, RE4 and Silent Hill 2, and just started trying them out. And had a ton of fun, racing against the clock.
Awesome, awesome. So you guys are both horror game aficionados, right? All right, so let's go to our next question then, which is kind of related. Have you actually been scared by the games you're speedrunning? And this is a question by Too Shy Shy.
Too Shy Shy. I would say a couple of games that I speedrun, you know, really good horror games. Fatal Frame is the one that scared me the most. When I played that for the first time, I actually had to stop after the first 10 minutes. Turned on all of the lights, you know, very spooked, very spooked.
Yeah, when I was a little kid, jazz hands in RE2 when you're going down the hall. It was scary for sure when you're a little kid.
That's definitely one of the scary parts for me as well. So, keeping with the horror theme, our next question from Writing David is, what horror game would you do best in if you were in it? And I assume that means if you were the protagonist of this game, what game would you survive?
Resident Evil 2.
Why?
Because the zombies are predictable and the bosses are not difficult. Unless you get unlucky on some parts.
Yeah.
That is fair. What about you, Maxie?
You know, I'd probably go with Resident Evil 7, simply because, you know, Ethan drives and he has a car and he's got keys. How about driving back home?
Ooh, I like that. I like that answer. These are both very unique answers. So, how about this question from Amaryllis Misaki, which says, what is your favorite horror film?
Day of the Dead, 1985.
Why is that?
It is the music, the actors, the gore, everything. Great movie.
Awesome.
I'm gonna go with The Shining.
That is a classic. Oh, you got some claps from the audience for your
It's
answer.
a classic, so.
Don't worry, Pessimism. I love your answer too.
Day of the Dead's
All right,
amazing.
so we have a question specifically for Pessimism. What got you into speedrunning Resident Evil HD specifically?
I was running Resident Evil 2 for like 6 months when I started streaming, and I saw that HD Master was being made. I was like, oh, I want to run that game. So I looked up a Agility% run, and the rest is history.
Awesome. So, we have time for about one more question. So tell me, this question from Sassenbot says, what is your favorite horror run you'd like to see at GDQ one day?
Fatal Frame.
Well, yeah, judging by your last answer, definitely thought it was Fatal
Fatal
Frame.
Frame, definitely.
I'd like to see Medieval.
Medieval. These are classic games. So, we're about to wrap it up. So, for all of the people in the audience, for the viewers, for your fans, for the people in the audience, tell us, do you have any shout outs, any last remarks?
Sure, I'd like to give a shout out to GDQ and all of its associates for making this event and giving me the opportunity to bring this game and everyone else bring their games. So I'd like to say much love to all my viewers who have supported me throughout my entire streaming career. And I think that's it. Much love. And everyone who's gonna watch the run, much love, thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah. All the Maxi Party peeps out there, you know, if you're listening, post some doggies in the chat. I know you got all those doggo emotes. I know it. Thank you guys for supporting me for so long, and every single game that I run, you guys are super enthusiastic about it. And shout outs to all the people who come to GDQ and make this feel like, you know, more than just a bunch of dudes who just dudes and gals who want to get together and speedrun games. It's more of a tight-knit family now. It's something I look forward to all the time.
All right. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for all of your help. Thank you so much for coming to do this interview, and good luck in your run.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Covert Muffin, back to you.
All right, that just makes me even more excited for that spoopy block coming up a little bit later on. But up next, we are going to be watching Tomb Raider by Becksky93, and I'm very excited for that run as well. That being said, we have a $10 donation from Theo Schorenberg that says, when I was a kid named Laura, people used to call me Lara Croft as an insult. Years later, after I actually played the game, some Tomb Raider games, I've realized that Lara Croft is a great character, and her games are definitely some of my favorites. I'm happy to watch my favorite games get broken, and if my name is pronounced about right, I'll donate another $10. Well, Theo, I hope I made you proud. All right, we also have $25 from BM Bauba that says donation. We also have $15 from Nick Knack Nick that says, shout out to the announcer for being the first person to pronounce my nickname correctly. Here is $10 for that and another $5 for swag. Thanks, Nick Knack Nick. We have a $20 anonymous donation that says, GDQ time is the best time of this year. Rip sleep. And thanks to all the awesome speedrunners and everyone that makes this awesome event possible. Thank you, Anonymous. I'm also gonna take the time to plug some of our sponsors. We have the Yeti supporting Games Done Quick events since 2012. They have official merch sponsor for Games Done Quick, and you can check out this official merchandise including SGDQ tees and more over at theyeti.com. Fangamer is another one of our sponsors for this event. Fangamer is a video game merchandise company designing and producing official goods for Dark Souls, Undertale, Persona 5, and more. All profits from the GDQ merchandise sales are donated directly to Doctors Without Borders. New official merchandise from Dark Souls, Undertale, Persona 5, Hollow Knight, and more can be found over on fangamer.com/GDQ. That being said, we are raising money for Doctors Without Borders during this marathon. Doctors Without Borders, MSF, is a medical humanitarian organization working in more than 60 countries around the world. MSF is a private, international association. MSF provides assistance to populations in distress, to victims of natural or man-made disasters, and to victims of armed conflict. They do so irrespective of race, religion, creed, or political convictions. You can find out more at doctorswithoutborders.org. That being said, we have $25 from Birchie that says, gaming is what truly brings everyone together. Glad to be a part of this. Me too, Birchie. This is awesome. All right, we also have $5 from Juju Girl that says, love seeing Lara Croft on GDQ. The Tomb Raider games are dear to my heart. And wow, we have a $200 donation from Kenzo the Manzo. It says, I absolutely love how much this great community does for charity. Happy to be a part of something so amazing. Thank you so much, Kenzo the Manzo. Beckboy9012 donates $10 saying, love GDQ. Thought I would donate, can't wait for the SMM race. And that being said, we do have plenty of runs coming up. If you would like to see exactly when your favorite speed games are going to be featured on the schedule, just head on over to gamesdonequick.com/schedule, and it'll automatically convert to your time zone and then automatically update based on if we are ahead or slightly behind schedule. But don't worry, all of those runs are still going to be showcased. We have $10 from Raijin saying, this is my first time donating to GDQ. I've been watching for years and figured I would show some love. Thank you so much, Raijin. And speaking of the schedule for this event, we actually are having a couple of our runs shifted around. So if you were looking forward to that Splatterhouse and Splatterhouse 2 run by Zallard1, that is actually going to be moved to Wednesday. And that being said, the Kid Chameleon run instead is going to be taking that spot on Tuesday. So make sure that you head over to gamesdonequick.com/schedule to make sure that you can keep track of those runs that you want to check out. All right, we have a $20 donation from Anonymous saying, GDQ time is the best time of this year. Rip sleep, and thanks to all the awesome speedrunners and everyone that makes this awesome event possible. Thank you so much. We have $50 from Ren the Faceless saying, been watching for a few years now and have to donate every time. These runs are impressive. $50 to John Morris, because who wants to see Castlevania without a whip? And that being said, we do have lots of various bid wars going on, which are very exciting. The Castlevania Bloodlines character choice right now is in the lead, actually, for Eric Lacarde with $1,431. If you do want to see John Morris be able to be the character that is played as, then the difference is about $500. So make sure you keep bringing in those donations. We have $15 from 50 cosine 8 that says, thank you for an amazing SGDQ again. So happy to be able to attend for the second time. That's awesome. I'm enjoying this event too, 50 cosine. All right, we also have Humble Bundle as a sponsor for this event, which sells games, ebooks, and other digital content through Pay What You Want bundle promotions, the Humble Store, and the Humble Monthly curated subscription service. Customers choose how their payment is divided between the content creators, charity, and Humble Bundle. Over $129 million has been raised for charities across the world since 2010. You can go check those out over on www.humblebundle.com/monthly. One of our sponsors is also World9 Gaming. From PCs to arcades and consoles, old and new, World9 Gaming aims to provide the highest quality video gaming experiences to events in the Midwest and beyond. With our dedicated staff, tournament expertise, and expansive collection of games and consoles, World9 is ready to take your event to the next level. For information on booking and upcoming events, go check that out at world9gaming.com.